Well, with no notes, let's do this off the cuff once again. The Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Detroit Red Wings Monday night 2-1 here at Little Caesars Arena. The scoreboard that I know you care about, I ate a bit more than half of a Little Caesars pizza, 2 slices of the deep dish, probably an entire loaf of cheesy bread, had a couple cuts of sirloin at the carving station, and 1 chicken wing. I skipped the ice cream, but don't worry, I had Coke Zero, so it was all okay. Let's get into the Penguins game Monday, because there was so much to like. When you watch the Dan Muse video on this channel, you will see a guy with clarity who could easily answer. I tossed him a softball, but I was curious, which way he'd go with it. I simply said, "What did you like about the game tonight?" And he just kind of enumerated point, I think very correctly as well. First of all, Ben Kindel had one of those kind of breakout games. Look, his last performance against Columbus was really good. He began to look like a player who belongs. Full stop, he looked like a player overmatched a week ago. He made some nice defensive plays in his first game, and even in practice, he was able to kind of diagnose what was going on in the defensive zone, jump the play, intercept the puck, and begin a transition. But he wasn't skating well enough. He wasn't assertive enough to actually move the play, impact the play, impact the game. That's begun to change. His last couple of games has been just a rapid acceleration. His skating looks markedly better. He's skating with intent. He's getting to where he wants to go, where he thinks he needs to be. And with his hockey IQ, he's usually right. What you saw Monday night, Penguins' first goal. Another player playing with a lot of assertiveness, Ryan Shea, rushes up the ice, begins that transition play, slips around one defender, and just a perfect little soft backhand pass to Kindel. Now, the Kindel that we knew a week ago would not have outskated the defender. This version of Ben Kindel did get separation. So now it's basically a breakaway. He and against John Gibson. Nice little kind of opens the stick, creates, a wider angle, beats Gibson glove side. Just one of the many plays that Kindel made. Go back and read the PHN report card. I kind of enumerated several. He won 6 of 11 faceoffs. Actually, at one point, he was 6-1. He lost his last few faceoffs in the third period, but still 6-5. Not a bad thing. The Penguins as a team, they didn't bring an NHL heavy lineup. Basically, I think the only NHL regulars, and I hesitate to call Ryan Graves that because I think his spot is in trouble. The only NHL regulars would be Tommy Novak, maybe Philip Tomasino. Am I missing anybody else? With a hungry, young lineup, the Penguins played a gritty, structured, disciplined, high puck pressure, high tempo game. They weren't overly aggressive. You would think young players would make mistakes of aggression. Nay. They really played within themselves. And, going back to Ben Kindel, because Detroit didn't put a stacked NHL lineup up against them, but still a pretty good Detroit line with Marco Kasper, Alex DeBrincat, and Patrick Kane. That's who went against the Kindel line. The Kindel line, including Ville Koivunen and Avery Hayes, absolutely ate their lunch. And that went up and down the Penguins lineup. Whether we're talking Sam Poulin, whether we're talking, even I was a little lukewarm on Novak and Tomasino on Monday night, but they were still just fine. They played with Philip Hollander, another player who deserves some special recognition for his performance on Monday. This was Hollander's best game. We kind of finally saw that breakout from Hollander. He's been okay, he's been good, but he hasn't risen above his internal competition. He hasn't, there's a difference between playing good, playing well, and making an impact. Monday, Hallander, that's how I'm supposed to say it now, Hallander made an impact. On the back end, I thought Ryan Shea just really continues to have a strong preseason and camp. Just watch the way he's playing. He's skating on his toes. He's asserting himself. He just skated away from forecheckers, put pressure on Detroit with his skating, but also made crisp, sharp breakout passes. Got into the offensive zone, put more pressure on Detroit. At no point did he sort of leave himself exposed, or the goaltender, Tristan Jarry, the 21 save win, 21 of 22. But, really, if you got a chance to watch the game, I understand there were some problems with the stream. For those of you who got to watch it, Jarry wasn't tested a great deal. That's what you want to do for your goalie, because largely the Penguins one forechecker. If there was a second forechecker, it was because they had almost a guarantee of applying pressure. Over the last few years, a big criticism, and I haven't phrased it as criticism, merely a matter of fact, but if you want to look at it that way, what the Penguins have done in the recent past is try to bring more forecheckers to create pressure, and they've been burned. Odd man breaks and chasing the play. By being a bit more conservative, they're now able to pounce when they have the opportunity, and they're not chasing back. They're not chasing the game. I think Dan Muse's structure and scheme is still to be determined. We're probably still very much in the vanilla phase of preseason, but you kind of see the core tenets, the building blocks, and the principles of Muse's system. So watch his video. He's basically smiling ear to ear. He loved his team's performance on Monday, and as well he should. And Ben Kindel, I'll tell you what, Ben Kindel is probably about an inch away from getting himself on the NHL roster. When you're the 11th overall pick and you begin to play like he's playing in the last two preseason games, doesn't matter how you start, where you start. It matters how you finish and where you're finishing, and he is running full speed to that finish line. Add another young player to the mix, huh? We could have half a dozen on the NHL roster in October. We'll see. Last season, Harrison Brunick had a great preseason and then just kind of faltered in the last game and a half when the competition elevated. Kindel will have to kind of go through that same trial and tribulation over the last couple of games against Buffalo, home and away, or rather away and home. He will have to show that he can handle an NHL lineup and players really ramping into that regular season rhythm and game. Still, to get to this point where he has a chance, I think that speaks volumes for the player. All right, that's it from Little Caesars Arena. I'm Dan Kingerski. Like, comment, subscribe, have at it. And we will see you in Buffalo, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. All right, have fun.